Hey everybody, it's Comics Cast again, Let It Out team here. And we had a little bit of a technical problem. For some reason, it wasn't broadcasting to Facebook, but we have that fixed now. So I guess we're going to have a little bit of get back inside the Matrix and do some deja vu conversation here. So those on YouTube, bear with us. When you watched it, we're going to have to do a little bit of a reintro here. But I want to welcome everybody again to Comics Cast, Let It Out. And my special co-host over here or over there, Rick.
What?
What was that, Rick?
Special. Okay.
Well, you are special. You're very special to me.
Oh, that kind of special. Yeah, I like that. I appreciate. Okay.
Okay.
He
All
was
right.
starting to look for his helmet.
He was. But anyway, I want to welcome everyone again to Comics Cast Let It Out team, and you're in for a special treat today. We have the creators and founders behind PM Comics. We have Kyle and Luis. Say hello, Kyle and Luis.
What's
up, everybody?
Yeah, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do a little bit of a rehash in terms of what we talked about before, but we want to welcome you both here. And they hail from the wonderful hot state of New Mexico, where they're experiencing triple-digit temperatures and the fire NATO, of course. So please send air conditioning dollars their way, or maybe hope for rain or something like that to help cool them down. But they're hot for another. That state is hot for another reason, because they have hot comics. Like that little segue. I don't know. That sounded a little cheesy, I guess.
That's good.
but,
I like that.
But I would like you guys to check out the links below. We have a little scroller there, and you see Kyle's pointing to it. That is how you can get in touch with PM Comics, and you can see some of the fantastic artwork by Luis, backed up by the phenomenal writing of Kyle. They are a team. And this is a first for Let It Out. Usually we just have a guest writer. I mean, a guest artist. Now we have a writer here. So we felt like Rick needed some company, somebody else to talk to, because he was getting lonely watching.
I needed an intellectual to conversate.
Oh, you went there, I guess.
Luis, you gonna take that? I don't know. I mean, it's okay. You can count on
No,
me.
that was you, Gerald. That was
you. Okay. I see how it is.
Luis is
Yeah,
the
come on,
artist.
man. I see what you mean about intellectual.
I want to say that's too many syllables. I can't. I don't even. What does intellectual mean there, Rick? For the uninformed here.
You'll learn when you grow up. Anyway,
okay.
Anyways, I'd like to welcome you as well, and I think we should just we wasted a lot of time now, so let's jump into it again.
Okay. All right.
For those that didn't listen first,
Okay.
yeah, I'm taking over, Gerald.
Go for it.
Where did you guys meet and decide that, hey, let's do comics together?
We met at a job that we were both doing back in 2013, about 7 years ago or so. I was already writing scripts and writing comics, and I happened to see some of Luis's art. In particular, a character he did called the Max, which I was a big fan of. Always been a big fan of MTV's Liquid Television, all that animation. And Luis was too, and we just started talking about that, and then we started coming up with ideas for our own personal comics, and came up with Hell's Hands around that time.
Nice. And I was told, as you all said earlier, which surprised me, Hell's Hands is not the only title you're working on.
That's right. We actually have another couple titles. We have Frank the Goblin, which is kind of our comedic medieval kind of sci-fi comic that we're doing, and then we're also working on a children's comic called The Littlest Zombie right now. So
The Littlest Zombie?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we
Hell's
wanted
Hands.
Yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Tell us a little about that. Let's take them one by one. What Hell's Hands? What's that about? How did that come about?
That's a horror comic that me and Luis both collaborated on the story, and I ended up writing the script for it. And basically, it's about an immortal that's living through time, just hunting demons, and the battle between heaven and hell. And it's very gory, very graphic, and honestly, so is Frank the Goblin. So we wanted to get away from that a little bit when we started doing Littlest Zombie.
I was going to say that.
I was about to ask. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you stepped in a little bag when you decided on the kids comics.
Right.
And that's why we wanted to keep the edge to it, hence the zombie part. But it's definitely, we went away from that for the kids comic.
Yeah, it's definitely for kids.
Yeah.
So that's Hell's Hands is your like heaven versus hell kind of comic, and a more that's the horror story one, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
And then the other one, I already forgot the name because
Frank the Goblin. Frank the Goblin's a basically a comedy book, but it's also very graphic and everything. But it's about a tiny goblin trying to live in the crazy medieval world where everything happens. So think like everything crazy that happens in Game of Thrones, everything crazy that happens in all these medieval stories like Lord of the Rings, things like that. Think about all that happening to one guy all the time in this world he lives in, and just
Nice.
trying to survive and get through it and keep a sense of humor and everything like that. And that's what that one's about.
Yeah, because he really doesn't know what's happening to him.
Yeah. He
You know,
just,
that's how dense he is. It's like, oh well.
yeah.
He reminds me of a co-host I had.
Yeah. Yeah, the world's burning around him and
Yeah,
he's
right.
perfectly fine. Right?
I don't know who this person is, but I'd like to meet him. Sounds like a great guy. But Frank the Goblin is kind of like he's kind of like the R2D2 C3PO. They're kind of like they're like these characters, and they're kind of like comedians, and the backdrop is the apocalypse, or they have like all these crazy things that are happening around them, and they just happen to be walking through everything, right? Experiencing. Is that pretty much what I guess Frank the Goblin is?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's basically everything that everyone's against in the world he's living in. He's a vegan goblin.
A vegan goblin.
Yeah, he's the smallest goblin.
Oh!
Everybody picks on him. Everybody messes with him, and he's just trying to live life. And
I already love that. Love the story of that. I definitely want more.
Oh,
Yeah.
because Rick is are you a vegan, Rick? Is that
What?
are you do you relate to Frank?
No.
No, okay, I just wanted to.
Wow.
That was just a. I was positing a question. Just seeing if
I'm
maybe
out.
if you could relate to Frank in any way, maybe. And speaking of that, Frank, is there a reason behind the name Frank? Is
it just seemed like the most common name I could think of. I tried to just make him like the everyman, but
the every
stuck
goblin
in a crazy
right.
world.
Well, I have to say is that I encourage our guests. Another plug in terms of what Let It Out is here. We encourage audience participation. Please comment if you have any questions that you want to pose to Luis or Kyle about Frank the Goblin. If you have anything, and of course there are other OCs, which include Hell's Hands and The Littlest Zombie. But we also encourage you, when we get to the drawing portion of it, if you would like to draw along with us, please let us know in the comment field. And at the end of the show, we'll feature your art, and you can bounce off ideas and ask Luis and Kyle in terms of like what they think of your art. So we definitely encourage that. And it's nice to know a little bit about Frank the Goblin. And I would like everybody to go to the ticker below, again, one more time, and you can see you can preview as well as order their 3 titles that we mentioned before. And I think that you'll be very intrigued, because when I looked at Frank the Goblin, now I have this new perspective, and he's a vegan goblin, and everybody picks on him. He's the smallest, and just doesn't get a fair shake at the world. And so I'm intrigued. And now and you mentioned it was comedy, and it was also did you say sci-fi too?
There's a lot of magic involved in it. There's going to be some space travel eventually involved in it a little bit. Pretty much anything that we can do to get a laugh. It's it's just a bunch of gags.
Yeah, that's
much it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, because when I think of goblins, I think of like it's a fantasy, or it's a medieval or Lord of the Rings thing. And then when you mentioned sci-fi, Rick, did you catch that too? It was like I was like intrigued completely. I was like, what? Sci-fi?
Yeah, we're going everywhere with it. No boundaries.
And that's what makes it even more exciting, that we're just going to. Well, we're just gonna do what the F we want.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What the fantastic we want.
That's a good way to do it. Like as long as you two have fun, then that's the most important part.
Right.
And before we move on with the drawing, I'd like to just take some of the comments here that's already jumping in. Like,
sure.
We got Justin Acosta just saying yo.
Yo.
This guy must
He's
know
happy
us.
to be here. We got Comics Cast being excited that we are finally up and working.
I know.
Yeah.
Same with Alan Michael Ward, one of our
Nice.
casters. And then the big guy, Joe Tolliver. Finally, the Djævel is back.
It's like
It has to be said as The Rock.
well,
Finally.
all right. Well, no, I was
back.
gonna do the John Wick. I think I'm back.
And
like, he did it with a pencil.
Joe Tolliver likes the art as well.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was impressed with the style. The style is definitely unique, and that's the thing that as we get into going into our first live drawing. I'm gonna pull up the screen here one more time.
I wasn't
And
done.
oh,
wasn't done.
okay, go for it while I pull it back.
And Michael Lindau likes also the same as us. Really likes Frank.
Well, hey,
And,
check us out.
I'm gonna
Website,
check him out.
comicspm.com.
Yes.
Well,
Buy the
I'm-
comic.
I will, Kyle, but I'm working right now. Okay.
All right, sorry, man.
And Joe Tolliver agrees. It sounds perfect. And again, I look forward to it. And for now, that's the ones. I will interrupt you again, Gerald, when new ones comes up.
I
But
think we need
it's
to.
really exciting, and we got a lot to do. So
We do. I think that we need to work on some sort of sign language to know that he is still reading comments. We're getting. I mean, that's great that we're getting a lot of audience feedback
That's
here,
good.
and we're
Awesome.
that means that people are interested. And I definitely, it's like I want to learn more about these characters, and we're going to start that because we're going to draw the very first OC as our live drawing challenge here. And while we do that, I guess Kyle, you can kind of narrate. You can tell us a little bit about the first drawing that we will, or the first character that we'll be drawing. And let me pull that up. And let's go ahead and get that out there for people to check out. All right. So who is this character? Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, this is Elazar, and he's our main character of Hell's Hands. He is an immortal that we catch up with in the Old West, and that's kind of where this whole first series of Hell's Hands starts. Basically, he's post Civil War. He's in New Mexico in the Old West, and he's hunting demons, doing what he does best. And pretty much, he just travels the world and tries to hunt these demons. And during one altercation with a demon, he actually loses his hands by throwing the demon into hell directly. And by doing that, when he pulls his hands out, he has these demon hands. And so he's basically cursed with these demon hands for, eternity after that.
So
and-
are the hands like evil themselves, or does he control
They're
them?
just
Or that
demon hands. He does control them.
Okay.
They are his. But basically, he's always either wearing gloves, so
It'd be
people don't
hard
see it
going
and
to the
freak
bathroom
out.
to get in control of the hands.
Yeah.
I was about to say that would make it a funny comic if he couldn't control his hands.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Fine line.
definitely have a there's a story, I guess, that you could tell a little bit more about that. But that's intriguing, and that explains why it's called Hell's Hands, right? And
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was interesting to hear that you were talking about it being a period piece. It's right after the Civil War. I take it is. So the whole the 3 issues that you had talked about, is he like an immortal and it goes up to present time, or is it just like the storyline is just post Civil War in that time period?
Post
I
Civil
haven't
War
read
in
the-
that time period.
Yeah, I haven't read the script all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I understand, it ends up in the future.
Oh, is that a
we've,
spoiler?
we've discussed it. Yeah, a little.
When it
little
ends,
spoiler.
it ends in the future.
Okay.
we can get
Science
that.
fiction everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. We're gonna see him end up in space with Frank. That would be
Yeah.
kind of a cool
Oh,
crossover.
no.
So
Don't give Kyle any idea.
So artists, let's get you two started.
Oh, I want to
on
share
your-
one more drawing because what's cool about this particular character is he's not alone. There's 2 main characters in Hell's Hands, and that'll be my little intro. Who you want to explain this character that's beside Erebus here?
Yeah, that's Amicus, and he's
Amicus.
next to Amicus, however you want to pronounce it.
All
But he's
right.
next to Elazar there, and he basically travels around with Elazar and helps him suss out the demons. One of the things about the demons is that they take human form. So really, you can't tell them from other people, other than certain giveaways and certain things that he's learned over time by hunting them. But Amicus is actually a hellhound that he pulled directly from hell as a puppy and raised, and is also immortal. And so they basically kind of roll around together as a team hunting demons.
So
And
even
he kind
though-
of needs him in order to really figure out who's who and make sure he's not killing innocent people.
I see. So,
Sometimes Amicus is a jerk and doesn't help out too much.
Yeah.
so does Amicus like talk? Is he like a talking hellhound, or does he just sort of like growl?
They kind of talk, I guess. You know what I mean? But that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sort of telepathically, like, you know, how you can kind of talk to your dog.
Yeah, Amicus been going to the neighbor, hey, feed me, fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in our pre-show we talked about because I was saying amicus myself, and it's amicus, and I remember I'm gonna
I
mispronounce
say
it.
amicus. I say amicus. He says amicus.
Uh,
Whatever.
tomato,
I just
tomato.
call him Paul.
Yeah.
We can just
call the
call
whole
him
thing
Spot.
off.
Okay. Well, the thing that was cool about what we were talking about in the pre-show, there's a meaning behind that, correct? Behind his name, is that correct?
Yeah,
Did I-
it's Latin for friend.
so there we go. So he's the friendly hellhound, and so like he's not been corrupted, I guess, because he was pulled from hell as a puppy. So he doesn't have the demon tendencies, I guess, except
Yeah,
'cause-
he only
he's
has
just a
loyalty to
jerk.
Elazar.
Okay. so I think that's a kind of a cool.
It's not demonic tendencies to be a jerk. I can
Maybe-
vouch for that.
I thought maybe
I vouch for that.
Okay, I just thought maybe the demon hands maybe like make sure that, hey, be a good dog, don't be a bad dog. My hands are telling the
I
story.
think as long as he scratches him, he's cool, right?
But yeah,
gotta watch his claws.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna be the timekeeper
Oh
now.
yes. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna unshare this. And
Are you
we're gonna-
ready, Luis?
Yes.
Let's bring
Yes.
I'm already done.
No, you already
Cool.
done. No. A
Should've
new
started.
illustration. You have to start. Make a new one.
I was kidding.
All right. So that being said, let's get to drawing here. So if you've watched any of our previous Let It Outs, know that Rick is known as the timekeeper. And we're definitely he likes to make me squirm by telling me like that I have like seconds and I really have minutes. But so just keep that in mind.
You're gonna love that, Kyle. Keep on watching Gerald and how much he scrims.
Okay. So that being said,
I love that part.
let's get to drawing here, and I'll let Rick and we're gonna have like what 10-15 minutes. How long are we gonna have for this first one?
Let's start with 7.
7
no.
minutes. Okay.
Jeez.
Luis, what's fine with you? 10 or 15?
15
Okay, 15 for you then.
times 3.
Okay. So start
No, 15.
15. And this is another thing too. It's like Luis, we talked about this before. Just it's more to get a feel of your art style, and you don't have to. We encourage you to get as far as you want, but we're gonna you can have time to polish this up after the show, and we'll feature it on our Facebook page as well as our Instagram. So yeah, just we're just chilling here. Just get as far as you can in it, so we can.
Yeah,
get-
before you start, I just have to point that our last comment out just to. I'm the charming one here.
Oh, charming. Okay.
Yeah, charmer.
Charmer here. So just
And I
let
don't even try.
us know where to send that check to for that charming comment, because
Joe, this first one is just a fan art of their character,
Right.
the one we just talked about.
We're doing Elazar.
Elazar, yeah, thank you.
okay. All right. So let's start the challenge and
Oh,
go
we
ahead.
haven't started yet?
Oh no. So you go ahead. Start on me.
No,
Go ahead.
Daryl haven't started yet. You just go ahead. Luis, it's okay.
You're good.
Okay. Just start. No, we started now. Luis, you can start whenever you want. Daryl is on a time. So yeah, Kyle, the Civil War is where it starts.
Yeah,
Or-
post Civil War. Yeah.
Like, will there be any historic notions into that, or will it be like on the side of it? If you know what I mean, if you're gonna introduce
Yeah, I mean,
the
future.
historical facts to it.
Yeah, and there's some of that in a little bit. They talk about Lincoln's assassination and things like that a little bit, but
Oh yeah,
really,
that happened.
yeah, yeah, that happened. but really, he's not going to get involved with too many historical events, at least in this issue. We're probably going to put that into some future issues. We have him in different time periods. We're just going to kind of jump around as we continue to present the stories. So
I think if we put in historical events, it accuses us of ripping off Forrest Gump.
there's that too. The great Forrest Gump. We do not want to rip
Yeah,
off
we
that.
do not want to mess with the Forrest Gump storyline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's never going to encounter a Jenny, we hope, and
Right.
we'll just go ahead and
And
Take
he
it from
doesn't
there.
like chocolate.
yeah. He doesn't like
No,
chocolate.
but I do.
Yeah, who doesn't? Right?
So
So
I noticed the his complexion. He's kind of pale. Is he like undead, or does he? I mean, he's. I noticed you mentioned
Is that
Amethyst
secret?
is
Yeah,
immortal.
it's a,
Immortal
that's
too,
a
or-
little bit of a spoiler. I
Spoiler.
don't want to give away too much. But if you want to research the name Elazar a little further, you might get a little bit of an idea of his background.
Okay.
But
I do
basically,
recall Louise telling us when we set up, but I can't remember.
I didn't
Yeah,
say anything, Kyle. I didn't give anything away. I swear.
hey, that's cool. As long as you don't remember, then it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I remember getting spoiled. I remember I was getting spoiled, but I do not remember about what.
Yeah, and really, I mean, I just wanted to kind of put in a lot of the themes and stuff that I liked in this book, and definitely time travel, different time periods is something that I'm really into, as well as the battle between heaven and hell, and really the toll on an immortal. How
So
just
see-
being an immortal really sucks after a while. It's not cool.
Oh no, I can
Careful
imagine. I
what
was
you
about
wish
to say, oh no, I know that, but I don't. I can imagine, but yeah, I have maybe a little tough and maybe a little direct question. I'm good at those, I've been told. But yeah, so you're running stories that are with running ideas that are well, they're pretty well known. The basic storylines you're going with here, like jumping from timeline to timeline, it's happened before. The Hell versus Earth has happened before. What do you think that would make your comic stand out and make people come and read it? Like
I definitely just think
there has to
the
be
fact that-
something.
Yeah, and it's really the psychology of it all, I think. Just
Mhm.
like I was saying, the fact that being an immortal after a certain amount of time doing a job has got to suck, I mean, and there's going to be times where he checks out. There's going to be times where demons start taking over because he just doesn't want to do it anymore. And
Yes, yeah.
and that's kind of the
Interesting.
angle that we're taking with it, is that it really wears on him over time, and he has certain allegiances at the beginning that he starts to question and doubt, and in the end he finds out whether it pays off for him or not.
For sure, I see that that I get because it's getting harder to come up with something completely new these days. Everything is almost been
Been done.
so just add a little interesting thing, and that's the best you can do these days, really. And I like the idea that not only is he fighting demons, he's also fighting the fact that he's fighting demons all the
Yeah.
time.
With
Fighting
his
his own demons.
He has demon hands. That's the big thing there. That he has Hell's hands. That I'm. And I was thinking about, like, the whole thing is that he controls. I mean, he has the actual hands, and you said that it doesn't control him. He has complete control over these hands, right? There's no, or is that something that might happen later on, or is that it?
No, he has complete control over them. I mean, they're basically his hands. He just, acquired them in a horrific accident, I guess you could say.
Right.
I kind of imagine it like if you put your hand at the sun, your hands would burn. It
Uh-huh.
would be kind of, if you put your hands through a portal to hell, your hand would change.
Exactly. That's
That kind of way was how I imagine it. I'm not. You don't
Exactly.
need to save. That's how it is. But that's how I imagine it.
That's exactly it, Rick. You're on the nose, buddy. You got it.
I won that, Gerald. Did you hear it?
Look at that. Now his head's getting big, is because he called it, and then he got
No,
called.
my
short.
head was big before we even started.
So now it's like he's really going to be ego tripping here. But
Ed Williams is saying, "What's up, Comic Cast?" and a special salute to you, Gerald.
oh well, Hey Ed, how you doing? Ed has been with us since our very first episodes. He's commented on things, and actually he helped us out with a little bit of a charity thing that we were doing with some art when we did our first official Let It Out. And so it's always a pleasure to have Ed here. So
It's always a pleasure to have all of you guys here.
Yeah.
you
we
know what I
appreciate it.
mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. But yeah,
But
so
yeah.
like the characters themselves, you said that it won't be a Forrest Gump type thing where he's going to be running into historical figures, or it will be. I sort of like was too
No,
busy
it
drawing.
won't
It won't be. Okay.
It won't be.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, we have a couple possible run-ins with some not so famous historical figures, but we'll see.
And you said that you actually have everything planned out for 300 issues, the first 300 issues, because it's going to be like
So-
one of those
Yeah.
spectacular
I
things.
don't know about that, but we definitely have it planned out to the end, and we know what time periods we're going to hit really hard, and what he's going to go through in those time periods. So it should be interesting.
So a quick reminder to you guys watching with us: remember to ride along, and if Djawel could take a break just for a small second, could show the art again.
Oh, yes, about
So people draw along. If you draw along and you have something at the end of the show, feel free to send it to us through our ComicCast message, and we will show it here. And if there's time, we might even open up for guests to come in and ask questions to these grateful guys, or maybe even Joe.
yes. So you said that there's a time traveling aspect to this as well. So
Well, not so much time traveling, just the fact that he's immortal and living through time.
I
You know,
see.
so but the way we're going to kind of jump around is going to kind of make it feel that way, because we're going to really kind of Tarantino it and jump around to different time periods to tell the whole story.
I see.
It's I like the concept. It's a simple concept, easy to understand for everybody, and you have something a little something there when it comes to the psychology of a immortal man that stands out, and it's interesting. And how many issues are you in now, or are you still on the first?
3.
No, we have 2 out right now that we've combined into just one book that we're selling on comicspm.com. But we're actually on the 3rd one now. Is Luis is doing the art for it, and we're getting it all together.
Oh, nice. So
does he
we
have-
almost done with the 15 minutes, guys.
What? Really?
No, not really.
Okay,
There's 5 more minutes.
I have not learned.
There's 5 more minutes.
I have not learned. I still
Did you see how much he squirmed already, Kyle?
Rick,
5
you're,
more
you're
minutes.
sadistic, buddy.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
see how I still trust this guy because you know.
But yet he invites me back every time, so he must love it.
Yeah, I love suffering.
But yeah, real quick again, Gerald, could you please show the actual character for
Yes,
people
yes.
to draw?
Let me
I'm giving you some time here, Luis, to like be faster than him. I got you, buddy.
He's
So
making-
everybody,
Stronger,
this
better,
is the
faster.
purposely slowing me down here.
This is the character. He can also be found on the website, I'm sure.
Or if you want to
So
draw
if you want to
Amicus too, man, that'd be cool.
If you want to draw along, yeah, draw along. As Kyle said at the dock, that I just forgot the name of again. I blame the heat.
Yeah.
It's Amicus,
What
or
is it,
Amicus.
60 degrees there, Rick? What is,
Fahrenheit? No, I think a 1,000 or something.
yeah.
They
They never
use
learned to
the-
convert.
Yeah, they use Celsius over there. They don't use the America system there. So
I mean, you also need to remember we're not used to the same amount of
of heat.
temperature that you guys are.
Yeah, well, if you go outside here, you pretty much immediately burst into flames. So.
Yeah, that's why. That's one of the many reasons I will never go to America.
Yeah.
And I think we're okay with that, buddy.
Good, we're in agreement then. No tequila for you, buddy.
Something.
So tell us a little bit. Aside from the demon hands, what other does he have does he have any other special powers? Being he's immortal, and obviously needs Amicus to kind of like root out, these demons that are in disguise. Does he have like any other like special powers that make him that allow him to death deal, I guess?
Just pretty much the skills that he learns over time, learning new weapons and, keeping up with the technology of the time, obviously, is key to survival.
Right.
So that's something that he definitely has to keep up with, as well as, trying not to blow his cover, and there's going to be times where he does and where, he might be executed in certain ways and have to figure out how to get around that in one piece,
Yeah.
So
that sounds like also a funny, a little fun part, exciting part of it all. Like,
seeing how he can die.
How is he going to get out of suddenly having his head back on his shoulders?
Yeah, and that's kind of my homage to the old Batman. I love the old Adam West Batman and how he always got put in these death-defying perils, but then found some stupid way to get out of it.
I love that.
Sure.
I love that. That's kind of my homage to that.
So besides the two main characters, is there other like
there's
characters
Maria.
that's going to be a big part of the story?
Maria.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, were you guys planning on drawing him today?
Who?
Garcia?
No, I'm talking about Maria.
Oh, Maria. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maria,
So that's a love interest that he comes along, here in this Old West time period. And obviously he tries not to get too attached to too many people, but, sometimes that happens too. And, he's got to find ways with dealing with that, with also being immortal,
Yeah, I mean, if he just got his powers and stuff around the Civil War, and he meets I'm saying what I've been hearing. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not saying what's in the comic. I have not read the comic. I have only been told what you just told me. But then it would make sense that
the story starts off after the Civil War.
yeah.
But he already has his powers before
But
that.
he already has his powers.
Okay.
Long
Well,
before
you spoiled it there, guys. I didn't.
Yeah, sorry. Had to do it.
Another
do it, Rick.
series that I wanna work on is because I've always wanted to draw it is like pirates and pirate ships and stuff like that.
Oh
So,
yeah.
And there's gonna be a version where he's a pirate.
What? Oh, so
Nice.
like you were talking about it's the whole Tarantino thing that you were talking about. How even though the story starts in post Civil War,
He's been around for a while.
it could go back and tell a story earlier in history and also go forward in history as well too, into the future type.
Yeah,
I'm not saying where it started, but he's been around.
And within this story, you actually get flashbacks, and that's kind of how we're going to reveal his history and his past is through flashbacks mainly.
Kind of, but not really. Think Highlander.
That's what I had to say that I thought a little bit about Highlander, but I didn't want to like just make that assumption because it shows obviously the story of is it Connor or is it Connor or
it's Connor. It's
because there was the series, the TV series
with Baco McLeod.
Yeah, Juan McLeod. Anyway, but
it can only be Juan.
there can only be one. But
edit that out.
Yeah. So what was cool about it is
we are live, Luis.
But the thing about the character is that you see the tragic side of being immortal. Everybody thinks, oh yes, you get to live forever and you get to witness, all these, history and things like that. But what was cool about the Highlander show and the movie is that it explores the tragic side of it as well, because you see the people that you care about, they're not immortal and they end up passing away, and it ends up being kind of a lonely existence. And so I guess
that's the only thing that it has in common with Highlander.
Uh-huh.
I just said that so you can understand like how the time thing is.
I'm not old enough to have seen Highlander.
What?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, I was like, oh, you lost some nerd points there.
I've seen Highlander, but I like the degrading what.
The what? The degrading watch?
Yeah. So
I should have done it in a Sean Connery accent.
What?
Louise,
Oh.
just continue. Gerald, we're done. Time's up.
Time is up. Oh,
Yeah.
Is it really time up?
Yeah, time is up.
all right. So let's look and see let's check out Luis's work. Oh,
awesome.
Louise's is really good, actually, really good. Let me just.
Hey, why are you surprised, Rick?
I'm not surprised. I was
What's
like,
wrong with that, bro?
you're the one that said that 15 minutes I'm too slow.
So I'm looking at this artwork. Are you using is it vector? Is this vector based? Or are you using a raster? Is it? I'm curious because you said you used Clip Studio Paint, correct?
Yes, it used to be Manga Studio.
Right. And I actually am not familiar with that program. Is it like Illustrator where you can use vectors, or is it?
You can use both.
Oh, you can. Okay. Because
Yeah, when I see things like that, I just draw.
because I'm looking at this and it has such. Because I thought you were drawing like individual points and then filling it in, because that was the cool.
I do that with the line tool, like especially with the brim of the hat, just to get it the way I want it. But like all this is just freehand with the paintbrush. I mean the pen brush.
And this is what I was telling our audience about in terms of the unique feel of this artwork, is that it has such a graphic design look to it. You know, you see these strong lines, positive, negative spaces, and you can definitely get this great feel for just the attitude and those.
You're not allowed to draw that live on Facebook. Oh, never mind.
This is website I was on yesterday.
No, we're not talking about that, Lois.
Oh, we're not talking about that.
That's the VIP room.
But you were saying, Luis, what were you saying in terms of?
I don't know. I just got to thinking about that website.
He was talking about you were talking about the art style.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was just saying that this is what is really unique about Luis, is that I don't know anybody who has this type of style. It's just so it's very unique, and I think it fits the Hell's Hands storyline from what Kyle has been telling us a little bit more about, and those striking red eyes. It reminds me of like this particular illustration reminds me of like how Frank Miller did with Sin City, where it would be black and white, and then there would just be like choices, things of color.
It's funny you said that because I kind of like that style, especially like in Sin City. I like the kind of just the black and white or whatever.
Right.
And in our book Hell's Hands, it's black and white except for one color, which is red.
That explains.
These are black and white or grayscale. And since the printer makes me pay for color, I put in one color on each panel.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way of doing it, and it uses the limited palette. You use it effectively to draw attention to his eyes, his hands.
The only thing I do in full color is like the cover.
I see.
Yeah. So
and then here's a little Easter egg. In each issue of Hell's Hands, there's a tiny rubber chicken hidden somewhere in there.
Oh, really?
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Where's Waldo? I like that. That makes it fun to find.
Yeah.
Let's quickly jump over to Gerald's.
Right.
See how he did.
Yeah, it looks really good. These are Hell's Hands right here.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so this is my quick take on it. So it's
You did that pretty fast, man.
It's all anxiety induced, but
That's good, dude.
thank you very much. And I wish that I could capture that really strong positive negative vibe that you carry out with now that I've seen it. But yeah, this was just my feeble attempt of interpreting Kyle's and yours character, but yeah, it was fun, and it was nice to hear a little bit about how we're going to hear about him, walking through history, both in the past, the present for him, which is post-Civil War, and then going into the future. So I do encourage our readers and our audience, if they've actually drew along, to share that with us. Rick, did anybody share any artwork?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Okay, so we had pencils down on this, and we're going to move to our next challenge, which is a new thing that we've been kind of doing since Rick has been a part of the Let It Out team, which is where he does a challenge that I don't even know about. We just call it the Rick challenge. I don't know if Rick has a special name for it, but
Oh,
The Rick
I've been
challenge
waiting
was
for
fun.
this. I've been
so,
waiting for this.
yes. So he kind of told us a little bit of a hint, which could be just a head fake about what was going to be the potential theme for it. But the whole way it goes. In fact, I'm not even going to say anything. I'll let Rick.
I'm allowed to talk.
You
Thank
are. You
Kevin.
are. You are. So please tell us.
So yeah, I did say a little, but first let me just state the rules again. You're not allowed to go for reference, like so. Don't think Google is your friend here because you're not allowed to use your friend.
Don't use friends. That's a good
Yep.
PSA right there. Don't.
And yeah, that's basically your only rule, and you got 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay.
And as I did tell you guys
See
the
the
last
things you get
time,
me into?
Sorry.
last time we talked, I did say it was going to be a Warner Brothers character.
Oh, okay. Warner Brothers. And is that still true?
That is true, and the character is
Are you gonna?
no drum rolls. Okay,
I don't have a drum, but
no, the character is going to be Freakazoid.
Freakazoid. You're making it up. There is no Freakazoid in the Warner Brother cartoon.
$10 says Luis doesn't even know who that is.
I don't know who it is. It's like, who is Freakazoid?
None of you
I know
know
who
who
it is.
Freakazoid is. Oh, thank you, Kyle.
He's in blue with like jacked up hair.
Yes.
Red outfit.
Yeah, you
Yes.
kinda remember.
Okay, everybody knows who Freakazoid is except for me. So
Okay, let's get. You got 20 minutes to go from now.
to draw Freakazoid, you're not going to give us like a little like Luis and Kyle.
Luis just gave you a great
Yeah, he
hint.
gave you a hint.
Okay, so he has whack out hair and that's,
Wag out hair. He
You're not
wears a onesie and have blue skin.
wears a
Yeah.
onesie, has blue skin and freaky hair. Oh, and freaky. All right, that's all you're gonna give me. Okay, all right.
I mean, that's pretty much his whole character. Wouldn't you say, Kyle?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
there's not
Freakazoid.
much to him.
No.
This is going to be interesting for Luis because
And
Luis
for when
has
we
a
get 20
disdain
minutes
for
for-
cartoon characters.
Well,
Although you have a strong disdain for cartoon characters.
yeah. So like, would Freakazoid be at home in the Littlest Zombie comic? You think maybe? Do you think?
No, not at all.
So let's talk about while they do Freakazoid. Let's talk a little about the Littlest Zombie. What?
Yeah.
I mean, just 2 years. Let's say just before Walking Dead, zombie would never have been a thing you would consider as a children thing. But now it's become so mainstream that it actually makes sense to make. If it's done properly, that it's okay to make a children's book with a zombie.
And that's kind of why I did it. I thought it was hilarious that I recently had a daughter and we were going through like Disney stuff and there's all this stuff about zombies and I just thought it was hilarious and I couldn't stop laughing at the fact that zombies are now for kids. So I decided to kind of write a book about it. And so, me and Luis have been wanting to do a children's book for a long time, but we were having a hard time finding a way to keep it on brand, Just keep it still kind of dark and still kind of PM Comics. So the way we did that is, we have this book that it's by definition a children's book, one sentence on each page. And it's about the littlest zombie toward the end of the zombie apocalypse. Basically, again, reaching into my bag of tricks here, decided to make her vegan and make her eat vegetables. And, and that's kind of part of it and part of the message that we're sending to the kids here too, that,
Eat your vegetables.
when your humans run out and you can't eat brains anymore, you got to find a way to survive. And, adaptation is everything.
That's brilliant. I love it. I was like, this is a running theme is that Frank the Goblin is also vegan. So,
Any of you vegan by chance?
yeah, is there?
No, I just ate a Baconator as we discussed
Yeah,
earlier.
I was about to say.
And I'm thinking about tacos.
Yeah, okay. There's no such thing as vegan tacos.
all bean.
Oh,
probably.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do all bean.
Not in our eyes.
So I'm just looking over how well in you are already, both of you. I mean, Louis obviously got it going here. He got the basics elements down already, in my opinion.
Yeah, for not knowing the character that well, it looks
Yeah.
pretty much like the character, man.
Yeah, he let's just say he had an idea, whereas Tiarrell, on the other hand, apparently did not
I
at
have
all.
no
So
idea.
let's see how he's going with it.
It looks awesome.
I have no idea who this guy is. I'm just gonna make it look like he's
Right now, it looks like it looks like a mixture of Homer Simpsons and Rick from Rick and Morty.
I was gonna say if they did a live action Freakazoid, that's probably what he'd look
Yeah, probably that as well. Yeah, good point. It's really good, both of you.
Alright,
Good.
So give me let's hear a little backstory, a little bit about Freakazoid. So, why is he called Freakazoid? Can you tell me that? Or
Because he's a normal kid, like it's a normal story of a teenage outcast that gets
It's a coming of age story.
that is getting bullied and all that, like all that same as Peter Parker before Spider-Man, and suddenly he gets sucked during a electric storm. He's sitting on his computer, and suddenly he gets sucked into the computer and gets weird superpowers, like he can change. I guess his superpowers is basically just that he becomes cartoony, and he can do everything that you see in cartoons, like suddenly run really fast. Other times fall from extreme heights without getting hurt, and things like that. And every time he changes, he have to yell out really loud, "Freak out!"
okay, that sounds interesting.
I can't believe you picked this character, Rick.
Why not? Are you impressed or are you sad?
I'm very sad.
Rick.
Why? He is my favorite. He's my all-time favorite character.
Does he have like any type of weapon or like a magic bracelet or time watch?
Well, that's for you to. That's
He's
for you
forgettable.
to-
He's forgettable. That's his
That's
superpower.
He's forgettable.
He's very forgettable.
So wait,
He is the best guy. He is the best hero in the world.
why does he wear a onesie? Is there...
And why I like him as well, as Alan Michael Ward just pointed out, is because Freakazoid easily becomes annoying. I mean, so you see why I like him so much?
You can
I
relate.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can relate. That's why he's my favorite hero. And Deadpool is funny enough, my second favorite.
Oh man.
So, when did you hear? How did you get to know Freakazoid, Kyle? Now we're talking Freakazoid. Let's continue.
I just remember seeing the cartoon. I worked in a comic book store a while back too. I'd read some of the comics here and there, but yeah, he was. I just remember him as being like if you tried to make the Animaniacs into a superhero and
Like
made
the
them even more annoying.
Yeah,
that's Freakazoid.
that is basically Freakazoid.
Okay, that's. I did like.
I think Warner Brothers were trying to make a more mature animation. It was around the same time that Batman the Animated Series came along.
Yeah,
And that was before Warner Brothers bought DC, I believe.
Oh well, you know what happened to DC over this last week in terms of actually Warner Brothers too. Yeah,
I've not read too much into it yet. I haven't had time, but yeah, a lot of stuff is going on there.
Yeah, so basically, DC is like on the chopping block. I mean, they pretty much have I think Warner Brothers Interactive, their game division. I think DC Collectibles. I'm not sure.
They canceled a bunch of titles too.
Yeah. So it's
Like Aquaman was one of them that I remember got canceled.
what really?
Aquaman, that was actually one of my favorites from them. Believe it or not, I actually liked the new Aquaman.
The Jason Momoa Aquaman, or the are you talking about like
the comic
book? Okay.
Yeah, that just got canceled.
Wow.
Shoot.
And I think that's one of the things that I think is a boon for independent creators like PM Comics is that I think what the mainstream comics have kind of like ignored is like the the fan base in terms of like a lot of the stories that we probably would like to or like at least the characters in terms of like where they came from, the established histories. Seems like all that stuff got thrown out the window, and like a lot of the characters that we grew up with, they don't behave or talk or do things that we thought that they would do in character. And I think with independent comics, that's become where the scene is. You know, there's fresh stories there, new characters, and I think that's where I think PM Comics can shine. Like we're going to get stories about vegan goblins and little zombies. So I think that's a nice thing. So have you found that like mainstream comics have been kind of lacking, and then maybe that's kind of the reason why you guys wanted to strike out on your own and do your own thing?
Absolutely. I mean, personally, I kind of gave up on comics for a while. I mean, I grew up reading superhero comics and all that. And then I kind of gave up on them for a while when I got a little older.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, somebody started introducing me to things like Eric Powell's The Goon.
Yeah.
Or Grant
Oh,
Morrison's
yes.
The Invisibles.
Totally
Or-
different
Yes.
stories, right?
And yeah, like having, you know, non-superhero comics that were interesting and funny and still had adult themes and things like that. And just figuring out that I could write for that and do it like that is what really influenced me to want to write scripts in the first place.
So do you find that your voice, after you've been like doing these type of comics, do you find that there's definitely more talking to people, that there's people that are really wanting to, they're hungering for this type of content? I mean, do you find
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah,
just-
I mean, it seems like going out to the cons and stuff, when you start explaining a new character that isn't a superhero and that's meant for adults and that goes through all these things like an existential crisis, trying to figure out if being immortal is worth it anymore, and you know, things like that. When they hear about these themes, they really get more interested and want to read it.
Yeah.
You need to find something in your characters that also hit at home with your potential readers, and those kind of existential crises. I think we've all had them in one time or another, in one way or another. Whether it's been a lot, whether it's been a lot.
What time is it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's good to find characters that the viewers can relate to, and going back to why it's going so badly for the big two, I think that's because that's what they've been missing out there recently. They've been listening to the few loud viewers rather than the
fans.
many.
Yeah.
They've been listening too much to the loud minority, as I tend to call them, than the many.
Yeah, I mean, I could write another Batman story and I could probably make it interesting, but I would rather spend my time coming up with a new character and building him from scratch and all of his nuances and, you know, figuring out how to weave it all together and make it work is fun for me to do it from scratch instead of having a template that you're stuck to.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah. And it's really interesting how it goes. I've been in a few different both podcasts and talks about the whole change in dynamics when it comes to comics. The indie comics is just soaring up there. You can now get your comics crowdfunded and funded within an hour, within half an hour, and all you really have to do is advertise yourself properly just on Facebook and social media, which is not as hard as this has been, and you can like almost really fast get a following, which you 5 years ago that would seem impossible if you weren't a big name to begin with, like Mark Miller did with the and so on. So it's really fantastic to see it. It gives more people chances to do what they want and what they love.
Yeah, and really going to these conventions are how we've kind of built our fan base up till now. But now with the launch of our website, comicspm.com, we're starting to branch out more and try to really get some new people to take a look at our stuff and get interested in it.
Yeah. And go ahead, Rick.
And it's really important to get out there if you want to get out there. I think I've seen a lot of people get frustrated about why their comics they want to make aren't getting noticed enough. But even though I say it's easier these days to get noticed, the work can still be considered hard if you're not used to do the hard work for it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Have you guys thought about exploring the crowdfunding aspect to help bolster sales for your comic? Like maybe issue 3 could be crowdfunded now that you have 1 and 2 under your belt for Hell's Hands. Have you thought about maybe doing a crowdfunding aspect?
Well, I'm not really big on the whole crowdfunding thing.
Oh, okay, no problem.
It just seems kind of weird to me. I'd rather just put out our comics and sell them
right
directly. But in the future, if we build a big enough fan base to where there's a demand for that, absolutely we'll try it. We're not against anything really.
That is the way to go these days, but I still see people do it like you guys still do it. That still has a decent sale. That still have decent sales from doing it the way you do it, like selling it digitally. Or do you also offer physical copies?
Actually, all we offer is physical copies right now.
Ooh,
nice.
That's another thing that we're pretty hard on is digital comics are cool and whatnot, but personally, I like to have the physical copy, and I know a lot of people do. So we start there. If the demand again, builds from there to where people are demanding a digital copy, we can for sure do that, and that's something that we may do in the future.
Like I'm from Denmark. Do you ship to Denmark?
Oh yeah,
Everywhere except Denmark.
Okay. I got a friend in Germany that can pass it over.
Yeah, we have a joke on the cover of Frank the Goblin where we kind of emulated the first Amazing Spider-Man cover, and we put in the corner that it's 15 cents, but in little text we put in North Korea only. So.
Yeah, you know what? I actually following up on you mentioned that Easter egg that you hide in Hell's Hands. The rubber chicken, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is there meaning behind that? Like
I hate chickens.
you hate chickens.
Luis is definitely afraid of chickens.
You want to talk about phobias there, Kyle?
You should have seen.
You want to talk about phobias?
Oh, let's talk about phobias.
Let's talk about phobias.
Kyle is definitely afraid of monkeys.
Afraid of monkeys?
I'm afraid of
You know what?
monkeys and robots, and even more in particular, robotic monkeys.
Oh,
I've never been around a monkey, so I wouldn't know. Maybe I would be afraid of monkeys too. But
It'll rip your face off.
I've heard those stories about those crazy chimpanzees that I would not want to be behind. Getting between a
that's
rabbit.
that's just in the movies. That doesn't happen in real life.
That does happen. There was a lady who got her face ripped
In
off.
Florida,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to relax our audience that might be underage and get scared from this.
Oh, I failed. I totally failed.
Yeah.
Stay away from monkeys, kids.
Yes, that's the thing.
And robots. Stay away
And
from
chickens.
those too.
And chickens.
I mean, I can agree. I have this weird phobia of Canadian geese, but I thought it was a weird. I thought it was a weird phobia, but then when I started talking with more Canadians and Americans, they like agree with me. Like they're hellspawn. Those
things are mean.
those damn creatures are hellspawn.
You know what? There's your storyline for issue 4 for Hell's Hands.
A chicken chases Elazar around.
I ain't drawing no damn chicken.
No, a Canadian geese from hell.
Canadian geese. Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Canadian geese from hell.
Yes, there's your storyline.
He looks at him with the red glowing eyes.
Yes, and he can have like a maple leaf tattooed to his chest, so you know it's a
Well-
Canadian geese.
Well, he'll be wearing a down jacket, so the geese will be real pissed off.
Exactly.
One more minute.
One more minute. Okay.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, my phobia is clowns. I think there's actually an.
Oh, I hate clowns as well.
You do? I can't stand. I think they're ever since Poltergeist. You guys watched that, like that 80s supernatural flick,
Oh, yeah.
with the when the kid looks under his bed expecting to see the clown doll underneath it, and then he looks underneath the bed, it's not there. He rises up and the clown is behind him. And he has it's a clown doll, of course, but I just cannot stand clowns.
I accidentally saw the original It when I was about 4
Oh,
or 5.
yeah. Uh-huh.
My
No,
mom
that'll do it.
had fallen asleep on the couch, and I was here. I for some reason woke up in the middle of the night and and at that time could hear the circus music, and I was like, oh, it must be morning because there's children music in the TV. So I sat there, and my mom just said that all she remembers is that she woke up with the loudest screams she had ever heard. What's even worse then was I had the weekend with my dad, and he was so excited because guess what? We are going to the circus.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Yeah,
I
yeah.
cried. I
Uh-huh.
screamed when I saw the clowns. That was just trying to be kind.
Yeah, I cannot stand. I don't like clowns at all.
I even had to fight myself to actually go in and watch the newest Joker movie.
Oh,
That
know,
took me a really long time mentally to get in there.
uh-huh.
But I did it because I wanted to see it. So screw phobias. I wanted to see that
Way to
movie.
conquer your fear, buddy.
Yeah.
Way to conquer your fear.
And speaking of, go watch Planet of the Apes, Kyle.
Oh, I love that movie. That's what
Oh.
scared me of apes in the first place. man.
Yeah, okay.
That's what started the whole thing.
The only movie that I won't watch right now ever, you couldn't pay me, is The Exorcist.
Oh, I won't watch that either.
I've never
yeah.
seen that, and I never will.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, time is over, Joel. Stop.
Time is over. Oh, okay. So, I'm interested to see what Freakazoid really looks like.
Okay, should we look at him first? Look at how he looked first. Hang on. Just gonna Google him.
Oh, you don't have the artwork ready? How unprofessional! Come on, Rick.
Well, I was more busy keeping our guest insane.
I can still draw. I can still draw.
No, you cannot. Kyle, tell him to stop. Kyle.
Stop.
Okay.
I'll
Kyle
make a
says,
buzzer sound.
if Kyle says I stop, then I'll stop.
Okay, are you ready?
All right. Let's see what Freakazoid looks like.
This is
Oh, I think.
Oh,
I
all
was
right.
close.
You're close, Luis.
Yeah.
Dang.
I was close.
He's like the blue Incredible. Like he's a part of the Incredibles family. It's like
I was close.
Yeah, you were really close. Like, look.
Oh, you just need the logo, and that would be it. It'd be perfect.
And we changed the hair to black.
Oh yeah, yes,
Change
yes,
the hair
right,
color. Yeah.
right.
No,
was
this was during his rebellious punker period.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't in the comics, but you obviously knew that period, Luis. I can tell.
When he bleached his hair.
Yeah, that's really good job.
So good job, Luis. You're a man of pop culture who knows his Freakazoid. I don't.
Then we are back to
So here's my version. He just
cool.
looks like a kid who's freaked out
yeah.
with crazy
Yeah.
crazy
I
hair.
said freakazoid, not freaked out kid.
You know what? He saw a clown. That's what happened. He saw a clown. He
So
saw.
what you're saying is this is basically you as a kid.
That's it. I with the crazy hair. Yeah, just seeing the clown, and then there was a robotic ape that was behind the clown, and pretty much freaked him out. So that was fun. So, did anybody happen to draw along with us?
Not with this one, but I did receive one from the earlier one. I do believe this is Joe Tolliver's work.
Oh, Joe. Okay, you gonna share that, or do we want to share it at the end of the show?
No, I'm gonna share it right now. I'm just messing up here. Bear with me.
Messing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, great job, Luis. I think you nailed that character.
Awesome.
Here we go.
Oh,
Oh, yeah! Look at that.
that's sick.
I love
That's
the
really good.
shadows. Shadows, really,
That's
really.
badass.
It
awesome.
really, he really seems to want to complement your style with the shadows and everything as well. It's really
Cool.
good.
I like
That's Alan Michael Ward. Sorry, my
Alan.
mistake.
That's
Great.
really good, Alan.
Great job. I love it. I love it.
Sick. Yeah, buddy.
He usually draws along with us, and he always do really good work.
Good job, Alan Michael. Very, very cool.
But yeah, back to these ones. I really like this challenge. I will admit, because this was the funniest one, because neither of you really knew. So we got to see more of your creativity rather than.
I don't know if this is creativity. I just said it's a freaked out kid in a onesie, and that's all I had to go on. But
Yeah.
I like Luis is like he's doing color. I'm still doing rough pencils, and here you put color into it. So that definitely made into it. And Rick was like saying, I don't know anything about the character, but you said that was his rebellious teen years. Were you being sarcastic, or was that actually like in the actual in the cartoon?
Yeah, sure, Jaro. This Luis got it point on. Luis got that period of time point on.
That was
He got a Misfits tattoo. You just can't see it.
Can't go underneath the onesie.
No, it's a what the younger people call a tramp stamp.
Okay.
It's just over the butt.
Leave that. We'll leave that where it is.
Anyways, yeah.
So normally we would we try and get at least 4 drawings in, but I think that since we had that little bit of that technical difficulty, we want to keep it. We were going to do like maybe a fan art that would be really cool for Luis, and I'm just going to link. But I really want to actually promote your other original character. So shall we just go ahead and go to our last drawing challenge? Is that okay with you, Luis and
Sure.
Kyle? Is that good? So.
Good.
Because I don't want to keep it. We've been getting a little carried away with some of our let it outs where we could just keep on drawing forever. But I wanted to show. Let me share screen, and we can look at this other character. Bear with me 1 second. We'll stop that. And all right, so here we go. So we already drew this character, and here we have now. This is just when I saw this is just power. I mean, I just looked at it and it just total domination. I mean, the guy just, I tell us a little bit about this character.
Well, this is Guerra. Did I pronounce it right, Luis?
Yeah, Guerra.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that right ever, but basically he's a Mexican wrestler or luchador that Elazar encounters in the Old West. And if you don't know, Lucha Libre Wrestling has been going on since the Old West. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's a real old art. And this guy is the biggest, most powerful wrestler there is. And he's unstoppable, but he's really quiet. And he gets most of his power through Santeria or black magic, actually.
Okay.
And so that's kind of another element of Hell's Hands that I didn't really discuss earlier, is the fact that I took a lot of cues from, Grant Morrison and the Invisibles, and incorporated like magic and things into these stories as well. So it's just another thing that Elazar has to combat or work with. And in this case, he kind of teams up with him to get out of a sticky situation.
So I noticed these tattoos. There's a scorpion that's on the pistols of the other character, and then the scorpion is on him as well. Is there a tie? But is the scorpion? Is this a coincidence, or is this is there a meaning behind the scorpion tattoos?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Okay, is that a potential spoiler?
No, just something. It's like a kind of like my tag, I guess you would say.
Oh, okay. That's more about that's your signature, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
There's not the scorpions between the two of these characters is not like some sort of hidden meaning type.
No,
thing.
no.
Okay.
No rubber chicken tattoo. I see.
No.
Yeah, so I was looking at the just between these two drawings, the facial tattoos or the paints are different. We have the cross here on his forehead, and of course this is red. So is this something that depending on who he's fighting or what day of the week, is there something something is like a certain power that is there a reason behind his face paints changing?
It's paint,
Okay.
Yarrow. It's paint, Yarrow.
It's just paint. I don't know. I'm trying. You can tell. I really want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, we're trying not to spoil too much.
Oh, okay.
Daryl,
No problem.
Do you know where you can find it when it goes up? Right, freaking
Yeah.
there.
there.
Exactly.
That's where you can get all your spoilers, people.
Yes.
Yarrow won't get anything out of these two. Trust me, he tried. He have
I
tried.
really am trying. And that was a nice little history fact though there about the luchadors, because I thought that was like something that was a response to the WWF or the WWE or something like that.
Wow. No.
Way before.
That's to show you how limited my
Even I get offended there, and I've been watching wrestling ever since I can
I have
remember.
not watched wrestling. I just thought all of a
And
sudden.
you,
Okay, I lost my wrestling creds right there. So
Like you were asking about the makeup.
yes, just
It's
the make.
maybe you can say it's kind of a theme because it's Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
Yes,
Day of
the dead.
makeup.
Day of
And
the
he's
Dead,
not
yeah.
the only one that wears it. The female character Maria, she wears it too.
Yeah, it happens that this point in time that we're at in the Old West in the first set of books all kind of revolves around Dia de los Muertos. So.
Okay. All right. So good thing that you did not give in to my spoiler attempt that I was trying to like weasel out of you guys. So check out the book so you can find the rubber chicken and the deeper meaning behind the facial paints and the scorpion. So it's one of those things.
so this guy really hates chickens with Santeria.
Exactly.
Yep, spot on,
Yep.
Danny.
That was part of Luis's ever hatred toward chickens. Had to write in some Santeria.
Okay, so that being said, this is our final challenge, and again, we encourage anybody who's watching to draw along with us and do your interpretation of this fantastic character whose facial paints we don't know exactly the full story about. So, but you got to read the book. Go buy the book. So let's do this. How long do we have, Rick, for this?
15 minutes.
Okay. He said that with such disgust. It's
No, it's just like I had to like figure out how long.
okay.
Do
How
the
long
math.
to squirm here?
So yeah, I think we've talked as much as about Hell Sands as we can without having to push you too much to talk spoilers. Oh yeah, you can start, Luis.
Oh,
I didn't know. I thought we could start.
You already started, Gerald. So apparently you're just skipping ahead. See, Luis. That's why he's so fast. He cheats.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm seeing that.
We could start already.
he lies and he cheats and he probably steals as well.
Oh, look at that.
Jeez.
He just threw me under the bus right there.
So no, I've placed you there long. I placed you there and kept you there for a long time. I didn't force you there.
So it's like,
But anyways, I think we've gotten as much out of info out of Hell Sands as we can from you without having to try and force you. So let's jump a little zombie. I think there's
Yeah, we can
not
talk
really
about
much.
that.
There's not really much story about in a childhood book that you can. That
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can,
there's
yeah,
not a
that
whole,
you
I kind
already
of already
done.
spoiled it all, so.
Yeah. So
But,
let's
I
go
mean-
back to. I must admit the title that interests me the most, and that's Frank, good old Goblin Frank.
Yeah, we can talk about Frank the Goblin. That's kind of a passion project that I wanted to do because we had been doing Hell's Hands for a while, and
Mhm.
I was like, this is so serious and dark, and I just want to do something fun and funny for a little bit because that's how we are at the cons. We're always joking around or messing around with people, messing around with each other, and making jokes the whole time. So that's kind of something that we wanted to do, is just make a book that I thought was funny and hilarious. And then Luis got the script and immediately didn't want to draw some parts because there's a lot of crude humor. And but I talked him into it, and he eventually caved.
I mean, he is only supposed to draw it. He's not supposed to take responsibility for what it's about. That's your job. That's you as a writer.
Oh yeah, and it's all me all over that book. There's
When you read
a lot of messed up jokes.
when you read Frank the Goblin and you land on that page, you'll know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. So you're saying you're gonna throw pretty much every fantasy story, movie story there is at him. So are we going to see a certain tower maybe, or
Perhaps
stuff like that, or perhaps he bumps into some people running away with a ring, stuff like that maybe.
Well, maybe. I mean, there is copyright infringement, obviously,
Yeah.
Rick. So I mean, we can't go too deep into
Of course
other
not.
people's franchises, but
¿Qué pasó? Eso no se puede.
No. Okay.
yeah.
Luis started speaking Spanish, so that means we need to stop.
Yeah,
I just
Nah,
want
what I'm saying is here.
infringement. So
Let's just say, I'm
basically
trying
what
to-
I'm saying here, the small hints are always allowed. We've seen that in many comics, left and right. Oh, did you just almost crash?
Yeah, my chair almost went out on me there. But yeah, I mean, really not giving away too much here, but there will be a panel in the future where Frank is in panties and a tank top in space as our kind of homage to Alien. That will happen eventually. So there's a little bit of a spoiler, but basically it's there's a little homage to the Red Wedding in there.
My favorite wedding scene from any movie.
Mine too. I love the Red Wedding, so we did a little
so
homage
beautiful.
to that. But you'll have to read the book. I mean, we get into it quick in that book, and all of that's in the first. So.
And it's a is it like just a mature book or a very mature book?
Very mature.
Yeah, I would say
No,
very
wait a
mature.
Very immature.
Very
Yeah.
immature book.
Very
Yeah.
immature.
Yeah, I think like a 7 or 8 year old kid would read it and absolutely love it, but their parents would be super angry.
And
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So there's room. There's room for. So you got a little for everyone. You got the. I still like the whole idea with the children's book. You put in a zombie. It's probably something similar has probably been done. I've just never heard of it. Like the fact that kids now like zombies. So let's just start making children's books out of it.
Yeah, and really, taking the gore and everything out of zombies and still having some kind of story left is the challenge, right? Like trying to do something like that is what really intrigued me and made me say, hey, this would be a cool kids book to write, but also it would be, something new to explore and something new to try without all the adult themes that we're used to doing.
Yeah, I really had to. It was a learning experience for me, because I really don't draw cutesy, friendly things. That makes sense.
Like Freakazoid.
I mean, your Freakazoid was cute.
No, like a kid's book, it can't be too graphic or too in their face.
Right.
Yeah, easy for the eyes as well when it comes to the details and very roundish. Mostly, the characters have to be a little more round than normal and everything. I personally can't do it.
Yeah, it was definitely the most difficult thing I've ever written, even though it was the shortest thing I've ever written.
I can imagine.
You can use profanity in it.
Yeah.
What? I thought this was written for your daughter. Like you said, you were. Wasn't the meaning behind it is like because you were talking with your daughter and about. Oh, actually, that was inspired. You were reading like Disney princess books, right? And then you.
I was going through Disney stuff and saw that they had like zombie material now, and that's what kind of we were looking for an angle for a children's book anyway.
Right.
And I was like, hey, this would be cool. We could still have, the undertones of the zombie apocalypse, but a happy story.
Right.
A feel-good zombie story.
Exactly.
The zombies need love. The zombies need love as well.
That's right. Yeah, and that's part of it. Is that learning to live together too. You don't always have to eat your neighbor's brains. There's other sources of food.
Yes.
So
I'm looking forward to that one as well. I might even buy it for my daughter. She likes that kind of thing. She still hates me for not allowing her to see Walking Dead. And she's like, Dad, I'm 9. I'm literally almost a grown-up. And I'm like, no, you're not. Go to your room.
Well, honestly, I have not been keeping up with The Walking Dead after they introduced Negan and spoiler alert. What happened to Glenn? I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to watch this anymore. I kind of lost.
I think a lot of people tuned out at that point. I know I did.
I
started to love it extra. Mostly because I had been anticipating him since the beginning because I read the comic first.
Yeah, I did as well, Rick, and I was waiting for that part, and then when it
Yeah.
happened, I was like, yeah, I don't need to watch this anymore.
I know,
I'm
'cause-
good. Like I already read the comics. I've seen the violence in there.
Uh-huh.
I love it, but
They
once you
actually
see it in real
start.
life, it's a little weird.
Yeah, that's true. It took me a minute to be like, oh shoot. I was like, okay. When the season ends, when we just see him hit like down, we like, okay, this is how it ends. We're not gonna see it anything messier. But I was wrong.
I mean, I was really shocked. I mean, I knew that I knew a little bit about the comic book in terms of that, but that scene was just so powerful. And I was a Glenn fan, so it was painful.
I was as well.
I just was just so painful. But then it was just like, with what happened later on with Carl, his story arc, I was like, or not any story arc afterwards. That was like a complete deviation from the comic book. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch this anymore. So that was just my.
There was some attempts. There was some attempts at the later seasons of trying to get more away from the comic.
Yeah, I think they wanted to tell their own story, I guess.
And that sadly made a few characters be forgotten in the whole story thing more than they became in the comic. But yeah, speaking of comics, like Kyle, who made you realize that hey, I can write comics for a living? Is there a special writer in comics that you really look up to, or
really? There's several really. I mean, obviously Grant Morrison, The Invisibles, really kind of changed my whole view of comics altogether. And I got to see that you can write these real crazy, amazing stories in the graphic novel format and make them interesting. And and that really set me off. Also, Eric Powell and the Goon, man, that was huge for me. Huge. I love that. I love the whole storyline. I love how he throws the comedy in there too.
The art too.
And the art is amazing. And he deals with like subject matter too, like black magic and weird stuff in there, as well as kind of having what you'd consider a superhero comic, which was crazy to just combine those things to me, and it really got my brain spinning in a whole new way.
Yeah, I mean, I same way. I had that with I was a little later, but I actually had that with Robert Kirkman. I started out as a fan of artists more than writers. It took me some years to actually start to value the writing as well in the comics. Which now, when I say that out loud, I'm like, what? Okay. But the first thing you see when you're young and you read a comic is the art, after all, right?
Yeah, and Umbrella Academy was huge for me too.
Oh yes,
When I refused to read it at first because I was like, oh, that's the guy from My Chemical Romance. That band sucks. I was like, I'm not gonna read this crap. And then somebody was just like, hey man, you got to read this. And so somebody I really trusted. So I was like, okay. And I picked up that book, and that changed me a lot too. I was like, "Oh man, time travel, yes."
Yeah, I can see a lot of the influences here in terms of like these authors that have made an impact on you. And speaking of which, like Luis, like what artists influenced you? Do you have any favorite artists or?
Who do I like? I'm a big fan of Todd McFarlane style.
Yeah. I noticed the Pirate Spawn that you shared, and that Batman with Bane has like some influences in there. So Todd McFarlane, is anybody else?
Alex Ross.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay. One of mine as well.
Yeah, and Alex Ross, what he does with dynamic lighting is just crazy in terms of just setting the mood with color and light. It's just amazing stuff.
Yeah, for sure. He's one of my all-time favorites. I mean, I come from a realism art world, and even though I've always been a fan of comics, I never delved into drawing or comics or anything like that. But people like Alex Ross and Simone Bianchi,
oh yes, yeah,
is that pronounced probably? Those
the-
guys,
yeah.
they've helped me like realize that hey, I don't have to redo my whole what's it called, my whole style just to be able to draw comics, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, another
So-
big one that, speaking of realism, Criminal by Ed Brubaker, and,
Rubric, yes.
and
Yeah.
Incognito as well, are
Mhm.
two amazing books that just really changed my whole outlook on the graphic novel in general.
Was it Brubaker that did a run on the Punisher too? Like he
I think he did, yeah.
yeah, was it with I can't remember, but I do know what you're talking about. Definitely, just really phenomenal artwork and storytelling.
Yeah, Criminal is ridiculous. It is
I'll have to check that out.
just the craziest. It's like a true crime book,
Uh-huh.
and it is just the craziest thing I've probably ever read, next to The Invisibles. You know, obviously Invisibles is off the charts, but yeah, Criminal is just so intense, and so it's like watching Ocean's 11 again. You know?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not even close to finishing.
I mean, I personally, one of my favorite all-time comics is actually a newer one, even though even though I've read comics for a long time. It's actually the Invincible series. Now that you said The Invisibles, the Invincible by Robert Kirkman, the best superhero comic I've ever read.
A lot of people have said that. I haven't read it yet, so I need to.
You should check out Incognito, Rick. You'd like it.
I will. I've first time I've ever heard of it. I mean, in Denmark we didn't get comics like you in America. It's first when it opened up digitally. So I'm way behind on a lot of indie stuff that I've never read before. So
Yeah, Incognito is great. I mean, it's in a nutshell, it's about a supervillain that's in witness protection.
Oh,
That sounds pretty cool.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Uh-huh.
It's super cool. You check it out.
So, and your Frank character, were you done with the issues there, or is that in the works?
Oh yeah, well, we got the one issue out where it's only been out for probably a little over a year now. So we're just kind of riding that one out for a little bit before we start a second one there. But that's gonna probably happen after the third Hell's Hands.
I'm still flabbergasted. You guys, 2 people are running 3 comics, and I'm guessing you're also getting them out there rather consistently while you're having day jobs on it. And well, as you said behind the scenes when I asked, do you ever sleep? Louis made the joke about why do you think we call ourselves PM Comics?
Yeah, we don't sleep. We're
Nocturnal.
constantly working, constantly
You got an
cranking
IV
out new
drop.
titles.
You got an IV drop with Monster Energy straight to your veins instead of sleeping.
Yeah, I got
No,
a Monster Energy drink IV set up next
Yeah,
to
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that.
I'm trying to quit. I'm trying to quit.
But then you'll have to sleep, and then you can't write. Whatever will you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to lower the caffeine level a little bit.
Yeah, same here. I've dropped the Coke completely. Not the drug, but Coke.
Settle down, Scarface.
No,
Yeah,
I haven't dropped that yet. I'm still on that. I mean,
We're very
still
much
like that.
alcohol fueled here. So
that is the best fuel to be fueled with. I can say meat is good.
oh yeah, meat
Real
and,
meat.
and
Unless you're the-
alcohol, highly
you're the-
combustible.
Unless you're the littlest zombie, because meat is overrated to her, right? So.
No,
Right.
meat like the drink the Viking made. MEAD.
Oh,
meat.
Mead.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Now he's making fun of my accent, guys. Do you hear what I have to work with here?
Hey, I
What?
I understood what you were saying, Rick. There's actually a part in Frank the Goblin where he gets drunk on mead. so-
On me.
Oh, I love him even more now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So do you see a crossover? Do you think there's gonna be a crossover between your comic lines? Like maybe seeing a
well, no, I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Jeez.
I can imagine each of the characters show up like in the background without any story to it, like here and there, just for the fun of it, because two of them is kind of immortal after all. Like
Yeah.
the immortal.
They
little
are
girl.
our universe. You know, it's all
Let's
our
just
kind of
say that,
shared universe.
It is the it is the PMCU after all. No, it's not
Right.
cinematic. It's not cinematic yet.
Yes, yes.
Comic universe.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. We could see a Netflix version of Frank the Goblin and Hell's Hands. I could see that on there. So
Let's just say that in Frank the Goblin at the Red Wedding,
yeah.
somebody from Hell's Hand shows up.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Just a little spoiler.
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah, and you know, if you hear that, Netflix, you can contact us at comicspm.com
right there.
or our Facebook.
There you
At
go.
the bottom there.
That was my.
Right there.
And,
That was my
that's
plug.
right. Yeah, Netflix. We do have the doors open.
Come on over and chill.
Okay, so we're talking about that. Okay, so if you had to do a fantasy casting here for your characters, let's hear from both of you. Like, who would you cast to be the characters that we're drawing? Frank the Goblin, and of course, the Lilith Zombie. Do you have who would you think would be a good representation from like today's cast of actors?
Well, I'd have to say, I mean, Frank the Goblin, unless he's CGI, would have to be like Danny DeVito or something.
Well, he could be a voice, like the
Yeah.
voice,
Danny
yeah.
DeVito,
Again,
Danny
Danny
DeVito would be
DeVito all
perfect.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah, all
Danny
day.
DeVito.
As far as Elazar goes, I don't know. That'd be tough.
Scott Eastwood.
Ooh, that's
Can we go back in time and get Antonio Banderas in his prime,
back when Once Upon a Time, like that era.
or some Desperado?
I mean, I could see Jason Momoa as well without the beard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people give him flack for his Aquaman, but that was really not his. He did a good job in
I
it. It was not his fault.
I thought it brought a new dimension to Aquaman because everybody thought of Aquaman as being a blonde character and stuff like that, and then he did an interpretation. He's all tattooed up and had that beard and just thought it was fresh. It was a nice take on it.
Yeah, Luis has some great Aquaman fan art on his Instagram there. Check that out.
It's on the website also.
And also
Yeah.
Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo. I mean, come on,
Right.
Yeah,
come on.
And then he died.
perfect.
Oh,
And then he died like everyone else.
Gosh darn it.
I actually have a Khal Drogo fan art that I did.
Oh, you do? Is it on?
That's
It's on the
also
website.
on
Or
the
my
website.
Instagram.
Yeah, what we could do is at the end, if you have it like on your desktop, or we could show that. When we do the final.
Yeah.
If you want to show any of the artwork.
I've received fan art to show as well. So, and you got 3 minutes to go. So I think we have decent time to do both, and also have to finish it properly.
All right, so we talked a little bit about fan casting for we had Jason Momoa and Danny DeVito. Who else? I didn't hear everybody's take on who would play who.
Yeah, I
Jason
don't-
Momoa as Frank.
As Frank.
Yes, Frank.
That would be.
That would be hilarious.
Remember that commercial he did during was it the Super Bowl? That
Yeah.
was hilarious. That just goes to show that he has such a great sense of humor too to do that, and he pulled it off completely.
I met him here in Albuquerque.
Oh, really? Like
He
at a
was at the
con?
Last year.
Expo.
Oh, wow. So is he just as cool as he is on screen? I mean, he just seems like that kind of guy that would really just interact with fans and appreciate, just what it's like to
Did you guys see this?
the other side.
Hang on. There we go.
There he is.
Oh, check that out.
The man
Proof.
himself.
Is he as wild and crazy as he seems to be?
Yeah, at one point, I guess he got bored and started skateboarding around the convention.
Yeah, with people chasing after him with cameras, and
Uh-huh.
it was crazy.
But the funny thing is, when it was my turn to take the picture,
Uh-huh.
I was like a big old fangirl. I couldn't even talk.
I could imagine.
Literally me.
I would be the same way.
I
Yeah,
could imagine you were being like,
I whispered to him.
Who's meant to?
I was like a little bee. Let me just say that.
Yeah, we couldn't wipe that smile off his face the whole con.
Yeah.
Like
so
the-
no matter how many sales you had gotten, it didn't matter. He met Jason Momoa.
Exactly.
And then it was good that he was there because I drew this giant poster
Uh-huh.
of his different characters, and I raffled it off to raise money for the El Paso Victims Fund after that shooting that happened.
Oh yeah. What a great charity. I mean, to do that for them.
Yeah, so I actually got Jason Momoa to sign the poster I was raffling.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
We ended up raising like $400 for that
Wow.
charity. Raffle tickets alone.
Yeah, and they still need help, man. Anybody can donate over there. El Paso Victims Relief Fund for sure.
Yeah. Because the reason why I did it was because it was the right thing to do, and it was a tragedy. But I'm originally from El Paso,
Hmm.
so I knew exactly the area and where it happened. And I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah. Well, that's a good example of just giving. I mean, to have your art speak for you and be able to raise awareness and just give back. And often people think it's like, oh, it's comic book stuff, but you know what? I mean, it speaks to people, and if it's for a good cause, it's definitely worth it completely. You know what? That's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. You mentioned that you guys did a lot of grassroots things. What?
Hang on. Let me get it.
Okay, we're about going to cons, and it seems like
Time's up.
that's the kazoo.
That's my time's up, kazoo.
I thought it was Kyle and his Baconator finally beating him.
Yeah.
Don't
Rick,
worry.
I thought I was expecting a big Viking horn from you. What happened, dude?
I know, right?
That is the big Viking horn.
That is the big. What do? No, my
And
big white horn is filled with meat, Kyle. It's filled with meat.
That's so funny. But before we look at
Carol,
the,
I said stop.
I'm gonna stop. I just wanted to.
I saw what you did there.
I just want to ask a question while I'm finishing up some.
No, you're not. No, leave that pencil.
I wanted to ask them about how they're dealing with the whole conventions being canceled now, and it seems like that was something that that was a mainstay for you guys. Talking to your fans, meeting people, showing your work and things like that. So how are you guys dealing with that?
We're not.
Yeah, it's sad, but it definitely brought us to the point to where we kicked us hard enough to say we had to start this website.
Mm-hmm.
And so comicspm.com right there.
Yes.
That's what we decided to start. And so we just kind of put all of our effort and time that we usually put into preparing for cons and getting ready for cons into this website. And we're just growing it and expanding it every day and trying to get the word out.
So basically, the response to creating PM comic or the website presence was because you were doing mostly just sales at conventions, right? And then this was kind of a response to it.
Yeah, and it's something we've been wanting to do for a while too.
Well, nothing like a pandemic to kick you in the butt to launch a website, but that just means you have a greater reach now. I think that's the beauty of independent comics now. It's like they're allowing creators to have a greater voice and allowing your product to be seen by lots of people, and that's why we wanted to have you here on Comics Cast, because
Thanks for having us, man. This is gonna help us out a lot.
I hope so.
fun.
There's
And
such
Yeah.
intriguing stories. I mean, you can't. I mean, a littlest zombie who's a vegan, Frank the Goblin who's a vegan. I mean, I'm just listening to the stories, and then you got the I keep on saying amicus or amicus. Yes, I mean, is Demon Hands, Hell's Hands. It's just these are great stories, and it's not. There's no niche. It's just, I mean, it's not in mainstream. We're hearing a lot of different approaches to it, and that's what's great about independent creative content. You're getting stories that you wouldn't normally hear. And here we go. We got some art here. Savage. That's all I gotta say.
That's really good. He looks angry.
I just love the.
Did someone take his Baconator, Kyle? Run,
I might
Kyle.
have, yeah.
Run.
Yes.
He can smell it on you.
This is me as a graphic designer. that's my day job. I look at this and it has such strong, the line works, and the attitude, and it has a very I said
I like the contrasts.
yeah, it has a, it's tribal, it's visceral. I mean, I don't know. There's just so many different words that I can describe. It's very. I just like it because it has a power about it, and I think that's what you're trying to translate, obviously, with this character too.
Well, that's what Kyle wrote. He's a big brute. He's a brawler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he's huge.
Right.
There's a scene in there's a jail scene. And he's in there, and he takes.
And he's not the one bending over.
Yeah.
He's that big. He's that big. Okay.
I was gonna say it's like that Netflix scene with the Punisher when he does his jail when they're gonna kill him. And you know how they always do that one continuous shot.
Yeah.
That's famous for Daredevil things, and it was Frank Castle. That's what I see. Except Frank Castle uses whatever weapon they use against him. I imagine him just using his hands and just ripping people apart and stuff.
And his lucha libre skills and wrestling.
Yeah. Right. So he's like tossing them around like they're Kindlewood or something like that. But okay.
So,
that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I did this really quick. I just wanted to capture him in like this.
Like the way you put the cross on the head.
Yeah, I was trying to like learn like, should I use the scorpions or should I use the cross? But for this, I wanted just to show. Well, maybe it was kind of like a he has the cross, but he's like angry. It's like he's the retribution. He's the end of God that's going to come down on people. Type thing. And I just really wanted to capture him in that that's anger state. He's getting ready to like.
Oh yeah. Joe just reminded me something I should mention to you guys as well. Comics Cast is hosting a virtual con once a month.
Yes,
I mean,
great.
If you guys would like to
get in contact with either Joe or Joe and get in there with them. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? And it helps. It helps get the word out, and I know there's a lot of people watching on, so it's.
Yeah,
that way you're not completely out of the con experience and the help there.
Yeah, what we'll do is after the show, obviously it's called CromCom, and at the beginning it's pretty much been a tradition now for at the beginning of every month, and I think this time it's September 5th and 6th. It's usually the first weekend of every month. And yes, I will. That's going to be our plug for CromCom 6. We're on the 6th version, but I will talk to you guys after this show, and maybe there's still some slots that are open because
I completely lost that.
We're gonna like to have you
for a second there.
Right, and I think that if there
is, I'm glad Joe reminded me.
Right,
because that's definitely something we need to talk about.
Yeah. Even if there isn't a panel, I think there's going to be like an artist alley type thing. And when I go to cons, I rarely go to the panels. I love artist alley. You'll catch me there, and I will.
Artist alley.
Yeah, you'll find us with a beer in our hands for sure. In artist alley.
Exactly, because that's where you want to see all the up and coming talent. This is where you see these type of things. But yeah, so
I got some fan art here from Joe Tolliver.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
This one, like and my favorite, I have to say.
That's it.
That's Freakazoid.
Who did this?
That's Joe.
That's Joe. So
I really like how he did this one though, because in the others you've really made it highly detailed in his face, but Joe here also shows how easy it is to recognize him with just
a Day of the Dead makeup.
Yeah, just a little simpler, but still looking really good.
You can tell what it is.
I've never seen him smile, so that's cool.
Yeah, he has a little a grin, like he's.
He probably just beat up a child or something, so he's happy. I don't know. I don't know how bad guys work. Okay,
he's not a bad guy. He's a hero.
He's a good guy.
I thought that
good guy.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Bad guy.
It's a team up. It's a team up. He teams up with a hero.
Heroes beat up children too.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to say he got some bacon. He got some baconator. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he's a very satisfied guy. Yeah, he had some bacon.
But I do believe, with that being said, I think we are going to end it about here. If you don't have any last words to say.
Yeah, this is actually where we just turn it over to you guys. We got to show some fan art, and just glad that other people felt strongly enough to your characters resonated with them, and that they felt like they wanted to show that and share it. And hey, we got Marius, who's a veteran of a previous Let It Out, and he's saying Coolio. So you're definitely getting some reach. It's international. This guy's from the Philippines. He stayed up late. It's
Nice.
3 a.m. in the Philippines, and he wanted to watch you guys. So
Awesome. Thank you.
international flavor here in terms
That's
of
awesome.
space. But let me, before we wrap it up, I'm going to hand it over back to you guys. Is there any final shout outs, anything that you want to talk about? So you want to thank your moms and your daughters and things like that? It's completely up to you. The
Oh
floor
yeah,
is
thanks
yours.
to my family and friends, my cousin Aaron, who's helped us out at all the cons. Definitely check us out, comicspm.com, our Facebook, our Instagram. You can email us.
Mhm.
It's
all there. Yeah. So
and definitely a shout out to the New Mexico Comic Expo. They didn't get to have one this year. They had their first one last year. It was great. We had a great time. So hopefully they come back.
yeah, that's good to. So Luis, do you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
Pretty much what Kyle said. It's my family and stuff like that, because I've been doing this since I was a little kid, drawing anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jason Momoa, call me.
Netflix called it. It's some good stuff. But
I got some more fan art here.
Oh, awesome.
Who did
From
it?
Hey, Kyle, you better not think about replacing me.
that's Alan Michael. That's Alan Michael stuff.
Alan Michael.
Really good.
Incredible. Cool.
Oh, look at that.
That's awesome.
Giving him a beard. I didn't
Good
realize.
idea, Kyle.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Very cool.
And then, of
Freakazoid.
course, my favorite.
Freakazoid. I think there's going to be a lot of Freakazoid fans after watching the show too. And
And we got some more here from Marius. I'll definitely check you guys out. So
there we go.
Yeah, feel free to message us, send us emails, questions. If you want to join us, if you want to talk comics, whatever, we're here to talk to you.
Yeah, well, we thank you guys so much, and the door is open. When you guys have issue 3 ready to premiere, if you're not doing the Kickstarter thing, that's fine. But come on the show again, and we'll be happy to promote that issue 3 with non-spoilers. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna learn about what those tattoos mean and figure out look for the rubber chicken that's hidden in issue 1 and 2. But it's been a treat. I thank you guys so much for
Thank you for having us.
the show.
Thanks for having us, man.
I apologize there was 2 slip-ups. Just a little behind the scene things that happened.
the first slip up I need to express. I need to have everybody to know was on Gerald.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Rick. Go ahead. Just throw me-
Gerald came in. I was sitting having just a relaxed time on my own. I knew I could feel I had enough time. There was no problem. And then suddenly a link drops and said, "We got 5 minutes." And I go, oh crap! I need to jump in then. I didn't even take my pre-toilet visit. Right? And then I jump in, and then Kyle writes like, "I will be there in 15 minutes." I'm like, "Oh, that's unprofessional of Kyle. How dare he? He should be here on time. How the hell?" And Yell is like, "Oh no, what are we going to do without people?"
Yeah, and I was doing the
Luis was
doing
still
the whole
sleeping.
hand gesture too. Thing.
And Luis was still sleeping, so we were
Yes,
like,
I was.
"That's
There was
unprofessional as hell."
no response from Luis. It was like there
Well,
was
I saw it.
And then,
He said 11.
and then Joe comes in and like, "Dude, isn't it first at 1 p.m.?" And then I look at my time and I go, "Gerald, yeah, you're 1 hour too early, buddy."
I was like, what? And I was like, so sorry. I was just typing.
And Kyle almost got a speed ticket because of you.
I know. And I would have been so felt so horrible if you did get a speeding ticket, because he had just scarfed down his bacon breakfast baconator and just was like, oh my gosh, I got to get back down there. And so that is all on me. That was the first screw up, and then of
I
course.
mean, that's just too funny not
False
to.
start.
So thank
False
you.
Start,
Thank
J-Ro.
you so much for being understanding, and I am so sorry to cause that pre-show anxiety. And then the other thing is we had those little gremlins that popped up, and for some reason it didn't show up on Facebook, but we got it back. And the good news about this is that people hopefully continue to promote this, because this will be on our Facebook page, and it'll be archived as well. So look for that, and you feel free to share that out to anybody who might have missed it. Check us out on Indie Comics Cast as well on YouTube. But we do appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Phenomenal writing.
Thanks.
Two great people to meet, and I hope it's not the last time we see you guys.
I'd love to come back.
Keep that beard going, Rick.
That's what I was going to say. One
beard
last
going,
thing
Rick.
in the comment field. Who has the more impressive beard? Obviously, not this guy, but
Not me.
yeah, look at the beards here. There was going to be a beard off, and we didn't get a chance to really. So the comment field is going to be open. Who wears the better beard? Rick from Denmark, or
And if
Kyle
you don't,
from Mexico.
and if you don't vote me, you're wrong. But that's fine.
And keep in mind, I'm sporting a beard in triple-digit heat.
Yes,
Keep that in mind.
yes. So
Keep that in mind. I'm Danish, and I don't care about your heat.
okay.
Anyways, we also have our special little
Yes.
usual ending here. So I'll give it to you, Gerald. And one last time, thank you both.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
So yes, and as we end the show with this particular thing, let me share it. And let me scroll down to it a little bit here so we can get a feel for it. All right, so this is also something that I want to tell our audience to look forward to. This is our partner charity group that we do that we're so proud to be a part of. It's Golden Fight, and if you want to check out their website, it is here. And we are going to be doing a fundraiser with them in September, so look for details about that. But just a little bit about this organization. I like to call them as small enough but big enough. Small enough in the sense that, or big in the sense that they have big hearts. This is an organization that they can say that 98%, close to 98% of the money that they raise goes straight to the family. And what I'm talking about is these are families that have children that are dealing with difficult diseases and like cancer. And often when they're focusing on the healing of their child, financial problems will inevitably happen. And that's where Golden Fight comes in. They come in and they raise money so that these parents can focus on healing their child and not have to worry about these things, not be distracted by it. And like I said, they are big because they have big hearts, but small enough in the sense that they don't have a huge overhead. They're a small organization, and that that 2% that I was talking about, that just covers some administrative things. A lot of the leadership does this all 100% volunteer. So they're a Class A organization, big hearts, and you don't have to look for our fundraiser to donate to this worthy cause. So if you check out goldenfight.org, and if you feel so compelled to help out this great organization, please do. But look for us in September, late September, to partner up with them and do a fundraiser for them. So please check it out. And also check out our guest's website. One last plug. It's all there at the bottom. So keep on drawing. Check out PM Comics. Thank you to my guests, Luis and Kyle, and my co-host, Rick. So you guys have a great Sunday. Keep on drawing.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye-bye.